Hey guys, Steve here, singledadfitdad.com. Thanks for watching. Today I want to talk about something that a lot of you are going through, and basically it's you're walking around with your head up your ass. Now, what I mean by that is you're wallowing around, you're walking around in a constant state of despair and self-pity. Okay, so let me make it very clear. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying that this is necessarily a bad thing. But there are some things that I have done in my experience. I went through this a few years ago. I went through a really rough patch after my separation when I left my kids and started over in an apartment, left my home. And it was really, really difficult. And I went through a long period of shit, right? So my head was up my ass for the better part of a year. And I learned some things, and looking back, I probably would have done some things differently. So that's what I want to share with you today. Okay, first thing, I didn't do shit, right? I didn't move, I stopped exercising, and I was working at a desk job, and I basically sat on my ass all day long, came home, sat on the couch, never went out, and I was fucking miserable. So obviously not conducive, right? My suggestion to you, just get up, move, go to the gym. It's really tough when you feel like shit and you're really down on everything and you're struggling with your separation. It's probably either, pretty fresh or new, or your divorce. And it happens. It can be, the first 6 months, it could be the first year, it could be the first 2 years, 3 years that you're really emotionally struggling with the separation, whatever, if it's just the marriage itself falling apart, or if it's being away from your kids, or whatever it is. So my first piece of advice is to start moving more, start training, whatever it looks like. I don't care if you do 5 minutes of a treadmill, do something. And then the second piece is really watch what you eat. Okay, I let my health go to shit. Not only did I not exercise, but I was at McDonald's every single night eating garbage. So those things just compounded upon each other, and it just made things a lot worse. So, at the very least, move a little bit more and just kind of watch what you're eating as you're going through this. I'm not saying, get crazy and try to lean out and do some kind of difficult diet. Just watch what you eat a little bit, and it will help with your energy and actually feeling better about things. So, number two, avoid sad things. Obviously, this is pretty self-explanatory, but when I first left, I wanted to feel that pain, right? I was just living in that moment, and I just wanted to feel all the hurt and the pain and everything else that went with it. And so I surrounded myself with painful things. I would literally be watching the saddest, sappiest YouTube videos. I would be watching sad movies over and over and over. I'd listen to sad songs, and I would just be wrapped up in all of those emotions. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because I do feel it's really important to go through a grieving process, right? If you bottle all that in and say, fuck that, I'm fine, that's, I think, when it's going to turn around and bite you in the ass. But if you allow yourself to feel that sorrow and that sadness, that's a natural emotion when you go through something as traumatic as a separation or divorce. It's really important. Just don't overdo it. I myself, I think I probably overdid it. I spent many months repeating the same things over and over and over and over. So my suggestion would be just to at least limit the amount of things you do like that. Also find a hobby, whatever it is. It could be anything. Lose yourself in a video game, right? And I don't advocate, sitting around playing video games. A lot of times it's kind of a waste of your time, but in the short term, when you're going through all this pain, sometimes it makes sense just to check out, right? Your mind is completely gone, and I actually use that. I had a couple of these role-playing games that I would just get lost and immersed in, and I would forget about everything I was going through, and for whatever it was, 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever it was, that wouldn't be present in my life, and that actually did help quite a bit. Surround yourself with positive people is another one. Don't hang around with your buddies that are going to badmouth your ex or take you out and try to get laid and just do stupid shit. Be around people that are going to be supportive and positive and that kind of understand what you're going through and are there for you. That's going to kind of help build you up. Okay, and then lastly, I'll just say, recognize that how you're feeling is a choice, and I know it's really hard to see that when you're in it, but like I said, I chose to be sad, right? That was my decision. I consciously knew I was choosing that emotion, okay? And I'm not saying, like I said, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but if you drag it out for too long, yes, it can be counterproductive. So recognize that your sadness and your sorrow to an extent is a choice. Obviously, there's a lot that is not under your control, but the biggest takeaway is it's a choice to move past that and start focusing on other things versus dwelling in the past or even the present. Just move your mindset to a future thinking about, I get a new start on life, or this is my chance to do it again right, or now I get to spend more quality time with my kids, or whatever it is. So anyway, these are a few things that really have helped me over the last couple of years. It'll be 3 years coming up here soon that I was separated initially. So anyway, I hope this helped, guys, and feel free to leave a comment below. We'll talk to you soon.